This is how I make Bob's sandwich because he loves garlic so much. Butter the bread, slice the garlic up nice and thin, put a little salt on it for taste. So here's the sandwich done, and I know Bob's already waiting for it. So he's gonna take a little bite out of it, I hope, a little one. Okay.
Yaku. Very nice, thank you. We have been married for 48 years. We've been producing garlic for 41 years. It's in our hearts and in our blood to grow garlic. We grow 50 acres of just garlic, nothing else.
It's good for your high blood pressure, for sugar, cholesterol, any of that, it's good for. And you can see, well, I'm going to be 70 in January, and he's just 2 years younger than me. And everybody always says I look fantastic, so like they say, I have beautiful skin, so.
We call it Ukrainian Viagra.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you can't say that.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I want to keep growing until I can't function anymore. Yeah, you break it off, okay? And then, to me, it doesn't matter whether the skin's on it or not. You take it and you, good. The hotter the garlic and your eyes water, the better it is for you.
Black garlic gelato, it sounds very scary, and people, when they put it in their mouth, they always have this kind of face like this, and then they're like, huh. And I love that moment.
Garlic comes from an Anglo-Saxon word. Gar means spear, and lac means plant. Back in the day, people saw it, it looked like a spear that's made out of garlic. Garlic has been proven to help with lowering your blood pressure. It's been found in medical documents dating from ancient Egypt, from ancient India, from China. They've used it in all sorts of medicine.
This product can cure many diseases.
There are a lot of scientific articles about garlic fighting colds, flus, lowering blood pressure, maybe even fighting cancer.
Garlic can harm and hurt vampires.
It brings good luck and wards off evil spirits.
Back in the medieval times, they believed that if you eat garlic, the mosquitoes are not going to bite you. The writer that wrote Dracula was living during those times, and just because of the whole myth that garlic prevents you from mosquitoes, they're like, well, the vampires drink blood, so they're like mosquitoes, so garlic actually will prevent and kill vampires. So that's where the whole myth came from.
It is kept and used in each and every kitchen in the world. We come across this product every day, knowing nothing about the amazing qualities that it possesses. This product is garlic.
My name is Anton Mahinko, and I've been cooking for over 8 years now. Cooking is a big passion of mine. I have many books at home, and I read all the time about different recipes from different parts of the world. Garlic plays a great foundation in a lot of dishes from around the world. You add it to almost anything, and it'll just make it taste great. And the thing is, garlic is not just one part of culture. It originates from Asia, and many cultures use it, from Japan to Middle East to Eastern Europe to anywhere. They use garlic all the time in many ways. There's many ways of cooking garlic, and there's many different ways of eating it.
If you make a soup, I recommend that put garlic in the soup, of course, when you cook it, but at the very end, add another clove of crushed garlic to that. That will give your soup an even stronger properties for fighting flu and cold and other ailments. My name is Peter McCluskey. I live in Toronto. I'm the founder of the Toronto Garlic Festival. Even though I've been cooking garlic my whole life, I didn't experience garlic the way I had tasting Ontario garlic. So I wanted to start the Toronto Garlic Festival, and it was also a really good way to help promote other Ontario garlic farmers. Garlic has a long history. We think that garlic became garlic initially around 10,000 years ago in Central Asia, specifically in the Tian Shan mountain range. One idea is that they might have observed that insects and animals don't go near garlic, they don't bite into it. And that's one of the properties of garlic. Defense system against insects biting into it is that it's a strong garlic flavor. They could inherit those properties. That might have been the first reason why garlic was of value, maybe even before its value as a food ingredient was its value as a medicinal herb. Then from the Central Asia, garlic started to spread around the world. Garlic has been studied by scientists under a microscope, and we've studied these properties of garlic when it interacts with germs and other microbes that are harmful to the human body. And we've observed that garlic has a beneficial effect, that it will destroy harmful microbes in a test tube. We know for sure it has these properties, and we think that it has these same properties when we eat garlic. There's a well-known scientist, Dr. Eric Bloch, who's at Albany State University, and he wrote a book called Garlic and Other Aliens, The Lore and the Science. And in his thick book, it's a very scientifically researched book, he talks about these properties of garlic. He has observed garlic under the microscope and discusses them in his book. Garlic has been observed to be a natural antibiotic. Garlic is believed to be helpful in reducing or eliminating certain diseases like cancer, for example. We don't know exactly how it works, and there's still studies being done. There is the belief that it can fight cancer cells. We don't know the mechanism yet. There are a lot of things that humans take, say natural herbs and medicines that may have some beneficial effect, but scientists don't always know the exact mechanism. So in Canada, the First Nations used garlic for thousands of years. In fact, the city of Chicago gets its name from First Nation term for smelly onion, Chikawa. That was, onions are an allium and are a cousin to garlic. And we know that First Nations used garlic in some of their medicinal preparations. Garlic, because it was adopted and used in the cuisine and culture of lower economic classes, it became associated with those classes. So, for example, the Koreans were referred to as garlic eaters by the Japanese, and they were referred to as garlic eaters in a pejorative sense, in a negative sense, as a put down. And this happened in other places around the world as well. The English traditionally don't eat garlic. There are examples in the past of famous chefs hiding garlic from their patrons. Chef Escoffier, very famous chef, French chef in the 19th century, the most famous chef in the world at that time. One of his patrons was Sarah Bernhardt, one of the most famous actresses of the time. And every year, Escoffier would make scrambled eggs for her birthday. And he never told her, but he would prick a garlic clove with a fork. And as he was stirring the scrambled eggs in a bain-marie, which allowed it to be cooked very slowly and made the eggs very fluffy, as he was stirring the eggs with the garlic, it was giving a very slight flavor to the eggs. She loved it, but she said she hated garlic. But Escoffier knew she doesn't really hate garlic. It's only because of social customs that she thinks she hates it. And he realized he could never admit to her that he used garlic in her eggs, or she would ban him for life. People and upper class people couldn't accept garlic into their kitchen, into their life. It was only when other people around them, like Escoffier, snuck garlic into their cooking. They loved it, but they still didn't know they were eating garlic. This festival is really promoting not just garlic, but different cuisines that use garlic. We excite chefs and challenge them to come up with new dishes, but also to present traditional dishes that maybe their grandmother used. They may reinterpret it in some way. So the Toronto Garlic Festival is a fusion of traditional cuisine with new ideas. This is Chef Erica Aruja. with Ixim Kitchen, and she has a tamale.
Well, the tamale is a traditional Mexican dish. I did for the garlic fest, I did garlic poblano and cheese.
Wow, nice.
Yes.
I already had one. I know they're delicious.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's very traditional.
This is multi-hoppy. This is Chef Francoise Brier. She also happens to be the chef at the French consulate in Toronto. Her amazing product is a black garlic infused beer jelly. Oh, so this is a garlic infused oil, and this is black garlic infused oil by Elias & Son. Here we have Brimstone Brewery. For the last 4 years at the festival, they've made a black garlic beer. And how is your black garlic beer selling?
It's sold out.
It's sold out. We celebrate the garlic harvest, but we do much more than that. We also celebrate the different cultures that use garlic, and we also celebrate different ways of using garlic in cuisine. For example, we use it in many desserts, and it tastes amazing. This is a gelato and sorbet maker, and they do many amazing gelatos, and one of them for the festival is a black garlic, vanilla bean, and fennel gelato, which I think is selling really well.
We make a gelato with black garlic.
My name is Caio Cruz. I am the owner of Death and Venice Gelato, so this is my shop. Being a chemical engineer before, I decided that I wanted to own something that is not a restaurant, but is culinary, but also has a bit of kind of science behind it, and I came up with this idea. So it's Death and Venice Gelato. So making gelato is science in a way. The quality of this product depends on how well you form your recipes, and that is science in a way. I will prepare you a black garlic gelato. The black garlic gelato is quite unusual, but at the same time, I think it has these notes that are quite common. So we're bringing something quite extraordinary out of something that is quite ordinary. Like garlic, we have 3 ingredients. We have the black garlic, that black garlic that we make in our house. That black garlic has been fermenting for about 4 months right now. So after 4 months of fermentation, it turns into this black color. And what ends up happening during the fermentation is that all the natural sugars of the garlic gets turned into this kind of tertiary notes. These almost like coffee, almost like vanilla flavors. So you can actually take that and eat that. It's delicious on its own. So basically we're going to blend that black garlic and the fennel inside our base. Once we find the right seasoning for it, the taste, we're gonna put it inside our gelato machine. We're gonna churn it and we're gonna freeze it. And I think the end result is quite surprising in a way that it sounds so strange, but it's delicious at the same time. And anyone who tries it, usually they get a little bit scared, but then they're like, huh, it's actually quite delicious. And we're just gonna pour a little bit. And then we are going to add black garlic. And then we're gonna have about 2 tablespoons of toasted fennel. A little bit more. So we're gonna blend this guy. All right, so we'll put this in with a good whisk. It's good. And we're gonna spin our gelato. Start. And it will take about 10 minutes. Perfect. Because now we cool the gelato. We're gonna take it down to minus 22 degrees Celsius. And it will take about, I would say about 45 minutes. We like to serve the gelato the day after. It likes to rest a little bit. And then we'll take our gelato to the front of the store. It's quite popular.
Garlic ice cream, I've never tried it, but it's something I would definitely give it a shot. I myself eat garlic every day. 1 clove with soup. It helps you not get sick. Actually, it's been proven by science that if you eat raw garlic a day, that will actually reduce your time with the symptoms and actually getting the sickness, cold, by about 30%. Today we're going to be cooking this amazing dish called the garlic cloud. This dish is inspiration from my travels from Italy. I've seen this amazing chef cook a dish called Parmesan foam, and this is where my inspiration came from. For this, we're gonna need roasted garlic, lecithin powder, onion sprouts, which are gonna be used on the bottom of the dish to represent the earth, while the cloud represents the sky. The last ingredients we're gonna need is water. So we're gonna be adding water first. Then we're gonna add roasted garlic. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of the powder. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt. And then, and that's it. Then the next step would be plating it, because this is all complete now. Put this on the bottom. And then we'll be taking the foam, just the top layer. This is like a cloud, which tastes like roasted garlic. Garlic comes from an Anglo-Saxon word. Gar means spear, and lac means plant. So back in the day, people saw it looked like a spear that's made out of garlic. Now, back in the ancient times, garlic was used as a medicine for treating heart disease. And it comes from many ancient cultures like India, Egypt, China. If you look at all their old texts for medicine, that's where they start using it as a medicine plant. The dish is complete. Now, the aroma of this dish smells like garlic, but once you actually taste it, it melts in your mouth. You have a really nice, sweet garlic flavor. And it's a really great appetizer for any kind of special occasion for you. And it just looks amazing. For me, it represents the bottom of the earth, the grass. Cloud represents the top. In a way, since it's kind of low, not as high as the real cloud, it reminds me of the misty mornings that I used to see out in Canada. What's more magical than having a cloud on your plate? A garlic cloud.
I'm Megan Saswich. I'm from Alberta, Canada, but I'm here at the Garlic Fest. I use garlic in all my cooking, literally everything. And now I'm having fun and trying it out in baking. So I was lucky enough to compete on the Great Canadian Baking Show Season 2, and I came a finalist. I decided to start using garlic in my baking because it kind of sets it aside from just a normal cupcake or just a normal dark chocolate cookie. People stop and they say, "What? There's garlic?" And you're like, "Yeah, try it." This is my caramelized garlic spiced apple cupcake. And it has a really delicious, light and airy meringue topping, icing. And it's not very sweet, which I prefer. But inside the cupcake has slow roasted, caramelized local garlic. I don't know a lot of interesting facts about garlic, but I do know that it's really hard to grow.
So presently we grow 50 acres of just garlic, nothing else. And then I'm also a director with the Garlic Growers Association, and we like to promote people to grow garlic, whether it's 2 plants or whether it's 2 million plants. The garlic is handled maybe 13 times, 14 times before it gets put in a bag or put in on a table. I'm Bogdan Romaniuk. In 2010, my wife and I decided to expand the garlic business. This is sized garlic, okay, because we do size it. This is stuff that we'll be using for seed. People have a misconception that the bigger the clove, the bigger the garlic you will receive after you plant it. And it's not true, because you have to take what God gives you, but it's also the pH has to be proper. You have to have enough decent rain for it to grow, and do a lot of praying. So from the seeding process, first the cloves we heat and we crack the seed into single cloves. Within a few days we take and we plant that, and garlic is usually planted about the middle of October, around Thanksgiving. There's that window. It needs to be in the ground for enough time before the land freezes for it to set roots, so the freezing in the fall doesn't pop the seed out of the ground. The more snow we have on the ground, the better it is. It'll insulate and keep the garlic good. Come March, usually the ground is still pretty froze in the early part of March. Once the garlic starts to grow, we cultivate it. Come June, in the center of the garlic, there's a scape, and the scape is the heart of the plant, and when it starts to come up, it starts to curl, and what happens is, at the very end of that scape, there's a seed ball, and that seed ball slowly develops and grows into a seed, and the garlic will actually straighten out, and it'll grow possibly up to 5 feet. June 9th till the second week of July, harvest starts. So we go, at that time, we go with a machine that we undercut the garlic, that lifts the garlic in the ground below the bulb. And then we have equipment that we have built. People sit on the machine and they pull the garlic and they put it in these hoppers with a string, and then once the baskets are full or the hoppers are full, the driver stops. There's 2 people take and tie the garlic into bunches, and it goes into a bin. The trailers we have hold 4 bins. When the bins are pretty full, or the wagons are full, we then proceed, we take it to the drying barns and we hang it. Curing is one of the most important things of garlic to store for the winter. The reason we still do the drying on the stem is it's the old traditional way in Europe, is you gain storage ability with the garlic, and you also gain a slight bit of weight by drying it on the stem. So, and that we've done that for years. So this, like I say, this is our 41st year growing garlic, and we're still learning. I have 2 children, a son and a daughter, and they just say, "Dad, you do too much work." And I always say to them, you only get out of something what you put in. You put nothing in, you get nothing out. I have a passion for growing it. When I quit growing produce, it was like somebody cut off my arm. It's still in my blood, so I still enjoy growing. My wife's role is, she's my right-hand lady. This is our house. We built this house in 1980. We built it ourselves. Everything we have on our farm, that's all hand labor of our own. I love what I do. I love working with the ground. I love growing things. We have a passion, both of us, and our passion is still in growing garlic. Garlic doesn't stay in my system very long, like the smell. Some people, everybody's different. There's people who eat garlic and they no sooner eat a bit of fresh garlic and it'll come out their pores. You can smell it. Some people are just chemically, that's how they are. Most people aren't. But a lot of people have a negative attitude towards people who stink like garlic. I'll tell you a real good one. 2 years ago, I went to the store, to a hardware store, to buy these plastic bags because we also dehydrate garlic. And we had started here to cut the garlic, and it was early. So I thought, well, I went to the store and I asked the girl, I said, where can I buy these plastic bags? And she said, well, just go over here to aisle 4 and there's bags in there. So I go and I'm looking for this garlic bag, or the bags I wanted to buy. And I'm looking, and finally the girl comes over, can I help you? I says, I'm looking for this bag. And says, oh, the bags are right here. So I pick them up. I says, it's not for garbage, it is for storing dehydrated garlic. She says, now I know why you smell like a sausage factory, because I stunk like garlic. And I myself didn't realize that I carried the smell. And people today say, oh, they walk in the barn, oh, I smell the garlic. I don't smell it. I'm around it all the time, so I'm oblivious to it. I'm so used to being around it. We donate garlic to public gardens, and it's people who don't have a place to have a garden, so they have gardens in the city. So I donate 100 pounds or 200 pounds for those people to plant the garlic and they'll have for themselves. I don't have any problem paying forward. It's part of the life paying forward because we've had such a good life with what we've done.
I think garlic makes your life longer because for me, I have developed dozens or hundreds of new relationships and friends by growing garlic, by running the Toronto Garlic Festival, researching my book about garlic, talking about garlic, being here today talking to you about garlic. These are things that enrich my life and make me happy and fulfilled. So garlic has very much made I predict that garlic will allow me to live to 100 years of age.
I love what I do. I like growing garlic. I love meeting people. I enjoy growing. I love working in the land. And to me, it's whether you make money and you lose money, there's still a lot of self-satisfaction in working on the land. I take pride in what I do. Aside from getting older, instead of me going into a nursing home, I'd rather die in the field. They can find me in the field and they can bury me after that because I love what I do.